What's up, everybody? This is the Bros Gone Wild podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another excellent episode with our beloved Jonah. He's finally back from Africa. This marks our 20th episode of Bros Gone Wild podcast. That's about 20 weeks straight of us recording. That's wild. But we got together this Sunday night out on my patio. So you might hear a little wind. I haven't really actually listened for that, but we just had a grand old time. Jonah telling us stories from Africa. He was getting into the lack of warm water, the differences in electrical outlets, the everyday stare downs he got while he was running there, the begging he would have in restaurants from who knows, and just power outages and all these funky, weird things that you wouldn't necessarily think about that you kind of take for granted in everyday life. But yeah, he just delves into all the stories. It's a very story heavy and speaking heavy podcast from Jonah, but I think you guys will love it. It's an awesome insight for what it's like there. So please sit back, relax, enjoy Jonah's reciting from Africa. Hello and welcome to another great episode with the Bros Gone Wild podcast. And you might be sitting here thinking, wait a second, this is number 20, and Jonah should be back for this one.
Right?
Testing. Jonah, 1, 2, 3. Are you alive?
Hello?
Oh. We have contact.
There?
We have contact. Jonah has joined the Bros. He's back for another episode. He's fresh out of Africa. He's fresh from his typhoid fever he was suffering through. We're happy to have him back. He's breathing fine. Everything's going great. Jonah, how are you?
I'm doing a lot better.
Good, dude. It's been a minute.
I had a rough few days here when I got back. I got back on Friday, but feeling much better.
Yeah, you were gone for just about 3 weeks, 2.5.
I was in Ghana for 2 weeks, and then I was out of commission for about a week when I got back.
Wow, that's insane.
Did you go to any other countries, or was it just Ghana?
No, just strictly Ghana.
Yep, but we went all over.
Dude, that's nuts. It's a pretty crazy thing we got to step ourselves into. Do we want to go right into it, or? Gosh, I mean,
we don't have a pool to ease us in.
We don't really have a pole to work our way in there. Someone forgot to do it, Dayton.
That wasn't me. That was a team effort. That was our bad.
Yeah, I forgot.
I can't be blamed.
And then all of a sudden, it was Friday night when I remember.
Yeah, right.
And at that point, you just got to cut your losses. Oh, we do have an Instagram though. How do you guys like that?
Oh,
I saw that.
It's interesting already. You've already started out putting some BS on this.
I think it's funny. It's almost like a Finstagram where you're talking about. You can just post whatever you want on there.
We gotta get our followers up. We don't have enough.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah. I don't think Myers followed us back, and I was a little salty about that. So yeah, I guess without further ado, we might as well kind of jump right into this if you're okay with that, Jonah.
Yeah.
I would love to. We just kind of want to hear. Jonah's been holding out for this explanation of how great Africa was and all this stuff he did.
And before you get going, I have to ask, and everyone's been asking me, did Matt get sick or did he escape?
Didn't. So Matt didn't get sick. I don't know. I don't know how he didn't, because typhoid is very similar to salmonella, if not like the same thing, and you get it from eating literal feces.
Contaminated,
So I ate human shit. But Matt and I went to the same restaurants, ate almost the same exact food, but he didn't get sick. So I don't know how that works. You get a shot before you go for typhoid. I read online that 2 weeks before was supposed to be good, and that's about when I got mine. But an infectious disease person at Hurley said 4 weeks is when you're supposed to get it. So I don't know if I just got it too late and it didn't really kick in, but no, Matt didn't get sick, just me.
That's a bummer, man.
That sucks.
But I don't know how you guys want to do this. If you guys just want to let me talk, or if you guys just want to ask questions and.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of just start working your way through like some of the stuff you went through, and then we'll ask questions as things come up.
Yeah, all right. So I was telling Josh, so I took notes every day I was there.
Sweet.
So we could recite for our fans.
Nice.
I don't want to trust your computer. No, so I'll just run through my notes. So we left on Friday, the May 19th.
Okay.
So we flew into JFK in New York, and we had a 4-hour layover, so we went up into the Delta Sky Lounge. It was like $30 for Matt and I to get in.
Delta
like
Sky Lounge.
Yeah, Delta Sky Lounge. Sat up there, just chilled, drank some beer. All of a sudden, we're sitting there. I'm reading my book. I look up. Green Day sitting 5 feet away from me.
Hold on.
I swear to God, I'm sitting there drinking beer with Matt and Rocky. Rocky's the doc I went over with. I look up, and Green Day is sitting less than 10 feet away from me.
Like all the band members? Or just
all 3 of them.
Gay as all get up.
Yeah, what's his name? Right? Billy Joe Armstrong?
Billy Joe Armstrong,
yeah. He was sitting the closest to me.
Gosh, man.
I could have kicked him.
That's crazy, dude.
They were up. They weren't there for long. They were there for maybe 30, 45 minutes.
You could recognize them in the flesh?
Well, so, like, you look up, and he's a very recognizable person. Like, he's got the dark hair. Like, he's recognizable. So you see him, and you're like, holy shit, that looks like Green Day.
Right.
And then you look at who he's with, and they're older now. So it's
punk rock people.
They're like 40-year-old guys who are wearing skinny jeans and makeup and have their hair spiked. And you're like, all right, if that's not Green Day, I don't know what it is. Right. So like if you saw him alone, like I would probably still like know it was him. But when you see the other 2 guys, you're like,
it's a definite.
There's no doubt.
That's funny.
But so that was kind of cool. So that was like the highlight of New York.
Oh yeah, because you were just in the airport, right? And
yeah.
You just. How long was the layover again?
It was about 4 hours. But then we hopped on the flight to Accra, Ghana, which was about a 9-hour flight.
Ooh. Daddy.
Yeah, it was okay. We got into Ghana at like 8:30 a.m. their time. They're 4 hours ahead.
Okay.
So like we flew all night, and then so like you don't really get a ton of sleep on the plane.
Yeah.
And then you get there, and you got a full day ahead of you. Yeah. So it's a long day.
Shitty sleep, if anything, probably.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, so I got like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, but no real like sleep. They got some cool movies on those planes.
Did they?
do.
A ton of movies.
It's every movie you think.
It's impressive. Like really good movies.
Did they have Apollo 13?
No.
They didn't?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Disappointing.
What'd you end up watching? Was it you always watch new stuff?
I watched Passengers.
What'd you think?
Really liked it.
So did I. It was so cute.
I loved it, dude. It's feel good.
It's so feel good, and everybody talked shit about the movie.
I loved it.
I thought it was.
Jennifer Hudson.
You finished
Jennifer
the movie
Lawrence.
with
Jennifer Lawrence.
and
Chris Pratt.
And I like Chris Pratt.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't watch it again on the way home.
Oh my!
I watched Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Oh, that's a good
classic.
I can't remember what else I watched.
No, yeah.
But so we landed in Accra, and we get our bags, and we're walking out of the airport, and he's like, all right, we got to hop on another flight. And we're like, the hell are you talking about? We literally walk into you leave the international airport, right next to it is the domestic airport. We walked into the domestic airport, waited an hour, and hopped on a domestic flight.
Wow.
Africa World was the airline.
Oh my gosh.
And flew into the middle of the country to Kumasi. So Kumasi is the...
Whoa.
Kumasi is where the hospital was. It's the biggest city in the country. It has about 6 million people.
Jeez.
But it's not the capital. Accra's the capital.
Oh, okay.
Accra's got like 4 million people, I think. A little bit smaller. So we got to Kumasi. We checked into our hotel, which, no, Josh, like you said in one of the podcasts, is not as nice as an American hotel. It's not like we're staying at the Holiday Inn.
I was talking mad shit.
Oh, it's not. It's not as nice.
Oh no, absolutely not.
But you did have some nice ones, right?
No, not really.
You sent me a cool picture from one.
The very last hotel we stayed in for the last night was nice. Was really nice. Other than that, no.
I always thought you weren't moving around. I didn't realize you were going to be traveling so much. That's what was.
Yeah. So
I thought it was pretty one destination.
Yeah.
You do your doctorly stuff, and that was
dip.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know what to expect. So like part of that is me like giving you bad information because I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
But, so we got to Kumasi, checked into the place was called Kumasi Catering Rest House. It had like a bar restaurant area that was like open to the outside. Had like it was like covered though, and then like each room was like almost like a I'll show you guys pictures, and I don't know if we can put them up on our website.
I'm looking at it right now on TripAdvisor. I'm looking at the place you stayed in.
But like each room is kind of like a bungalow almost. It's weird.
Jungle bungalow.
Like you like have your own like walkway up to your room.
That's
so
cool.
Matt and I stayed in our own room, like 2 beds, TV that had like 12 channels and
What language?
running water and stuff.
And like 5 of them were soccer. Soccer's everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Only sport you can watch.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, running water. You can't drink it.
Right.
But you can shower. You can shower in it.
it?
You can wash your hands. You can brush your teeth with it. Although I brush my teeth with
Bottled water.
I do that in Mexico.
Yeah.
So they claim that they have hot water, and so they like every place we stayed had a hot water heater where you'd have to like turn it on like an hour before let the water
Totally.
go. Well, we could never figure out how to get it to work. So for the whole week we were in Kumasi, we didn't have any hot water, which was fine.
Cryotherapy, little cold shower.
It was okay. It wasn't like freezing.
Just a little wind
and it's hot as balls in Africa.
Yeah.
That's
like,
what I was gonna ask. How was the weather?
Yeah, the heat's the real deal.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
it's no joke over there.
Like over 100, like every
It's
single
like
day?
it's like mid 90s, humid. It's weird.
And
So it's
the
like
air,
it's,
right? Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean
no, it's like overcast, like almost every day, and so there's you're not in
Muggy.
direct sunlight.
Oh my gosh.
It's weird.
Sounds like a death
Yeah, but the air is like dirty.
Is it really?
All the cars are really old and give off a lot of exhaust,
that. I could imagine that.
Yeah.
and so the air just is kind of shitty.
Dang.
That's gross.
It's like a little smoggy. Just got kind of a.
It just like kind of smells and tastes nasty. Like you can't really see it.
You say you can't really take a deep breath, too.
You just didn't really want to take a deep breath sometimes.
Ugh.
Gotcha.
No, anyway, so I'm kind of getting off track.
No, you're
So, we get there, we kind of take a nap. It had been a long day. We were on a couple flights. We get up, and Rocky takes us to the hospital. So the hospital was probably about a half mile, 3/4 mile away from the hotel we were staying at.
Yeah.
So we just walked it. And
You
it
did
was,
that pretty much every day?
we walked
That's a
there
lot of
every day.
walking.
Yeah, it was a decent amount. And it was, the hospital was in like a militarized zone. So like
Oh, wow.
you have to walk like through like this gate, and like it's only like military families that live back there.
Huh.
So like there's armed guards with M16s like every day that you'd walk past.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
I mean, they weren't really like strict. Like they didn't like check you. They would just kind of stand there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like he showed us. This was on Saturday when we got there. We went there, just kind of checked it out. He introduced us to a couple people. And the hospital is not is nothing we would ever have in the United States. From the outside, it doesn't look terrible. The inside, first of all, it smells atrocious.
Really?
Oh, wow,
I don't
really?
like that with the hospital.
Well, because the people there like
It smells like dead body.
aren't clean. Like it just smells like BL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
dude.
not like there's not rooms. There's just kind of people laying out.
Oh my gosh.
I guess that is like
on
movies.
beds. So like
Oh my goodness.
they have like rooms with like curtains, but like there's not a ton of them. There's a lot of people that just kind of are like in beds in the middle and stuff, and it's it's hard to explain. I didn't really want to take a picture of like the hospital
Yeah,
with like a
yeah.
bunch of patients and stuff.
That's
Right,
for
right.
Patient confidentiality. Oh, yeah. HIPAA.
But yeah, so no, it was really cool, and the things they do over there is incredible with what they have.
Yeah, but
But no, it's not nice, and they have a hard time because like they have things like CAT scans or MRIs, but they don't work. So like when they open the hospital, of course everybody's flooding it with donations. So they get these MRIs, these CAT scans, these ultrasounds, but once you get it, you got to maintain them.
Right.
And once those donations stop, you don't have the money to maintain them. They just kind of sit there and don't work. So they have all these things, but a lot of them don't work. So that was like the
Big
first thing
takeaway.
that kind of like hit home was just kind of like we met these doctors when we first got there that were like talking to us and stuff, and Rocky came over and was talking to us after. He's like, those people are what's wrong with people like traveling doctors and stuff. They come over and they think they're saving the Africans.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, no, you don't need to save the Africans. You come over and like do work. Like, it's like he preached like what happens after you leave.
Yeah.
Like you can't just come over,
do your
save
thing
the
for
Africans,
a month,
then leave.
Right.
Nothing changes. You got to come over, like start a system that will work when you're gone.
Exactly.
Or do this and that. So
Teach
that's like
them to be able to
right.
do it.
Exactly. That's the main thing. If you're not doing anybody any good if you're going over
And just treating
and
leaving.
leaving. If you teach people or you stuff like exactly. So that was like the main thing that like first hit kind of. But yeah, so we went to the hospital, saw the hospital. It was kind of eye opening. We weren't there long. We went back and just kind of went to the restaurant bar area, and everything. The first thing you realize is everything is cheap as shit.
Yeah.
So
with the U.S. dollar, right?
With the
exactly.
US dollar.
So for their currency is called CD. We call them CDs. They're CEDIs. They're CED.
Don't you have some?
Yeah.
Yeah.
CEDIS is how they're spelled. We just call them CDs because it's easier to say.
Yeah.
But I have some right here. So every
Give me some of that cash, man.
Dude, this looks like a lot.
so every 4 CDs is 1 US. So if you have 100 CDs, you have $25 US.
Dang.
Gotcha.
So
And that perfectly like
it's
exactly, or is it roughly?
it was like 4.2.
Okay.
So
That's
roughly,
kinda
yeah.
neat, dude.
Yeah.
That's just like really artistic. And
I
colorful.
do.
Yeah.
I do like the paper.
Yeah.
Bank of Ghana.
So yeah. So the first thing you realize is everything's cheap. You get dinner and it's 30 CDs, 35 CDs, and then you're like, hold up, it's like $7-8.
Yeah.
And then you
That's wild.
get a beer, and the beers they give you are like a beer and a half in the U.S. They're like huge.
Yeah.
And they're 6 CDs. It's like $1.25.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so like you're
That's
like,
awesome.
drinking age is 19 or 18. Everything's cheap as shit. So you're drinking beers and you're getting food.
The two
Damn
necessities.
Damn straight.
Amen, bro.
So yeah, we ate a lot of fried rice, a lot of chicken.
Yeah. And
stuff
so so obviously you kind of hang out. Did you do much doctorly stuff?
Yeah,
Because,
so we went over and we were kind of expecting to work,
yeah.
like to be put to work in the hospital.
And you pretty
But
much
we kind of get there and there was not really anything for us to do. So we just kind of walked around and watched what we want to watch. We kind of followed them around, and when they would do their rounds, which is basically they would go and they would stop at every patient and they would kind of talk about it and talk about their diagnosis and stuff. We'd follow them around. They would do that once every hour or two. We'd watch them do that, and we'd kind of go around. If there's something cool going on, they'd come get us and let us know.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, but we didn't really have anything to do, which was, good and bad. We kind of hoped to get put to work, but at the same time, it's not all bad.
No,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah, we kind of learned that on Saturday, and Rocky kind of showed us around on Sunday. Sunday, like, they're a pretty religious country, so Sunday there's not a lot going on. The streets are pretty empty. So he kind of showed us around Kumasi a little bit. There's a lot of street vendors. Like, the streets are lined with like stores and
That's
stuff.
sweet.
But one of the things is, like, you'll always find people that have coconut. They'll have fresh coconut, and you walk up and you can either buy like a coconut that's like shaved and just like whatever, or you can get it where they have machetes and they chop off the top and they hand it to you, and you drink the coconut milk.
How was coconut?
And then
milk?
you give it back to them, and then they chop it up and they give you the coconut. Yeah, which is cool, and it's like 5 CDs.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So that was really cool. I had the coconut milk. I never ate the coconut. I'm not a big coconut fan.
No, I'm not a huge fan myself, but they would do that in Mexico, where you could get like, they could make these mixed drinks inside of these coconuts.
Why didn't we do
inside
that?
the coconut
And then
shells.
you either drink it with a straw or you just.
Should have done that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. See if I can keep running through my notes. There's not. So a couple main big things that you never think about until you get over there. Number one, which I never knew, and thank God Matt's mom read about it, is the outlets are different.
Oh yeah.
That's like Europe way.
The outlets
and the French do that.
are not the same that you plug into the wall. I went over there with my plugs,
Yeah.
You can't plug them into the wall.
Oh my God.
You need an adapter. You need something that converts.
Yeah, that's wacky.
So in our room, Matt had one chain adapter, so Matt and I basically had to share one outlet the whole trip.
Oh. Which was tough. You couldn't buy. Wild. I would think you could buy them somewhere.
I'm sure you could.
I was thinking gas station would have.
Yeah.
They don't really have. It's
7-Eleven, McDonald's. You see anything like that over there? Seriously.
There's KFC.
KFC. Okay.
Really? That's it?
Yep. No McDonald's.
I would think McDonald's, no doubt, but
you would think. I didn't see a McDonald's though. Yeah. But yeah, so that and then they have periodic power outages. Randomly, without warning, the power will go out for 10 minutes or for a day.
Oh my God!
So it's
that is
what do you mean,
damn
rural. Random power outages, stuff just goes wrong, or it's just part of.
So a lot of the country is powered by a lake, I think.
Oh.
And
I don't know the logistics behind it. I don't know what happens.
The lake runs out of water. They have to fill it up.
No, but the power goes out. And I was talking to a Ghanaian guy at the bar, and I asked him, because the power was out, and I go, how long does it typically last? And he goes, sometimes a day, sometimes 10 minutes. Cool. It's so hard to tell. There was one morning at 6 in the morning, the power went out, the fan went off, and the air conditioning went off. And I just laid there. And 2 hours later, at 8 o'clock, it kicked back on.
Oh my gosh.
You can't, it's not predictable. It'll happen at any time of day.
That's crazy.
It's weird.
That would suck.
That's really crazy.
Yeah,
so, did you ever have it happen at night?
Oh, yeah.
Did they light candles? What did they do for light?
Well, when it happened at night, I was in my room.
Okay.
So you just kind of.
You were never out when it happened?
Yeah, just kind of got to deal with it.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah.
They told us not to really go out that much at night.
Yeah.
You kind of, it's not dangerous over there. Ghana is one of the, safest countries in Africa. But they tell you not to go out at night, really, unless you know what you're doing.
Right.
So we were usually in at night.
And one story I wanted you to, my dad was always even saying, you were running one day. My big question was, Jonah, running? Why were you going on a run in the first place?
So Saturday, it was our first full day there, and we were sitting at dinner with Rocky, and Matt said something about could I be able to run in the morning? And Rocky's like, yeah, you could run in the morning. Matt was like, I was just thinking about running to the hospital and back. Rocky's like, yeah, that's totally fine. And so
it's 7 miles?
No, it was I said it was a half mile, 3/4 of a mile there.
3/4 mile. For some reason I thought you said 3 miles there.
Holy cow.
That's why I was like, that's a long walk.
No, 3/4 of a mile.
Oh, I get why you said that.
Completely.
Max there.
Heard that wrong.
Probably between half mile and 3/4 mile.
Jeez, I don't know what I'm listening to.
So, I woke up the next day, and the idea was fresh in my mind, and I woke up, and I was like, why not? It sounded good, and I'm like, I don't run. Might as well be cool to run in Africa. So I woke up, and I got up early every day. I don't know why. But it was 6:30, 7 o'clock. And I woke up.
Are they on this? Oh, the time zone is what, 2 hours after?
4. I think you said 4 hours.
It's 4 hours ahead.
Okay. Is that Kim?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I got up, and I was like, and Matt slept in every day.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. I was up hours before Matt every day.
Wow.
So I got up, and I was like, I'm going to go for a run. I was feeling it.
Nice.
And so I got up, and I ran.
How was it?
I ran to the hospital and back. It was hands down, the most uncomfortable I have ever been in my life.
Wow.
Literally, people were stopping what they were doing, like literally, like would be in the middle of doing something, stop in their tracks, and stare at me and just like watch me run by. Number one, I am a massive white dude.
Right, just running.
No, I'm a massive white dude. People stop what they're doing and look at me regardless if I'm just walking on the street. Like I'm getting weird looks. Number two, I'm running down the middle of the street. Like I'm literally running straight in the middle of the road. Like it's early, there's not many cars out.
Oh my gosh.
And the most uncomfortable was when I ran past the guy with the M16 and he's sitting there with the gun just like staring at me go by like I'm like,
oh my gosh.
And like it was weird, dude. It was so uncomfortable. I never did it again.
Wow.
But it was and like people there don't run.
That's what I was going to say. People are like, what is this guy doing?
Like everybody there's skinny as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need to.
They don't need to.
They're not going to waste that food. I mean, put their. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No. I wanted to ask about your friends that you met on the beach that we saw.
I'll get there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, so yeah, I ran to the hospital and back, and it was one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever done.
Wow, that is wild.
But yeah, so that was an experience. It was really weird. One thing is, like, the weirdest thing, and like the main thing I picked up on was like, and I don't mean to compare it to like black people in the United States, like it's completely different, obviously.
Yeah,
but like, being the minority for 2 weeks was weird.
Was it?
And like hard. Like we were part of it. We were part of a joke, an inside joke between everybody, but we didn't know like what it was. Like people would say something to us and start laughing, and we're like, what the fuck's funny?
Yeah.
Like, or like you walk into a restaurant and people are looking at you. Like, it's weird. Like,
they'll stop what they're eating. They're looking at you.
Yeah. Like, that was the weirdest part. Like, I was a minority for 2 weeks and like had a hard time handling it. Like, I couldn't even imagine being a minority like my whole life. And that's not even like the same. Like, black people in the United States they have to learn how to act around police. They have to be careful what they do. You know, like, they, like, feel unsafe at times because, like, just kind of how society is. Like, I never felt unsafe there.
Yeah.
But, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to draw parallels, like, say,
the preach of Jonah.
But, like, that was, like...
Talking some sense into this country.
That was, like, one of the big things I picked up on that was really weird and kind of gives you, like, a different appreciation for, like, the things people go through.
Yeah. That's nuts. I couldn't imagine.
But that was really weird. But I don't remember where I was at. I kind of got off on a tangent.
Yeah, just tell us about some of the trips or something that you went on.
So I spent the full first week in Kumasi.
Yeah. Just dicking around.
Yeah, didn't do a whole lot. Went to the hospital every day. There's not a whole lot else to tell.
Yeah.
There's one cool thing at the hospital. We saw some woman came in with a bunch of fluid in her abdomen. It was like pushing up against her lung, and so they have to like put a tube in between her ribs.
Nice.
They like cut her open and put a tube in between her ribs, feed it down into her stomach, and drain the fluid.
Oh my gosh.
And she's awake the whole time.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh.
So we were in there, and the fluid is infectious, so we had to wear masks. So basically, I felt like a fucking badass. I'm in there with a mask and stuff, watching it. But her ribs were super close together, and they couldn't get the tube in there because the ribs kept like clenching on the tube.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So we were in there for like an hour. This room was hot as balls.
She's awake.
She's awake the whole time.
Oh, there's tubes in her.
I'm sweating, like literally dripping sweat. I'm holding her hand.
How aren't you puking watching this?
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
That's terrible. This lady's awake.
She was in some pain. I was holding her hands though, so like Rocky was like at the start. Rocky was holding her hand, and like the resident was doing it, and the resident was struggling. So Rocky's like, "All right, Jonah, come over here, hold her hand," and like went around
just squeezing your hand. Is that what?
Yeah, and so like I was holding both her hands. She was like squeezing my hands and shit.
Wait, why did?
And I was like trying not to drip sweat on her face.
Wow.
He couldn't get the tube in.
But why did the resident? But you said the resident was struggling.
Yeah, to get the tube in.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So Rocky came over and tried to help. Long story short, for about an hour she was there. They never got it in, so she had to go get surgery on it eventually.
Oh my goodness!
But
man.
it was that was cool to see. Kinda. I felt bad for her, but
the poor lady.
I mean, she was numbed up. It was more just uncomfortable for her, I think. But
so Rocco starts those... Rocky, excuse me. He starts those hospitals there? Is that why he goes over?
Yeah, so he started... So, like, him, through the University of Michigan, started emergency medical, like, residency. Mm-hmm. And, like, along with that, the Emergency Medical Center.
Yeah.
Which is, like, the only emergency medical residency in, like, all of, like, northern or western Africa or something.
Totally.
Like, in a big, like, amount of countries, it's, like, the only, like, emergency medical residency. So people from all over Africa come and train there.
Wow.
To go and be able to practice outside.
That's cool.
Of that.
That's intense.
Yeah, so for the first week we were in Kumasi, like I said, and Rocky was there. And on that Friday, we had to take a bus where we were going to go spend the weekend in Cape Coast. So we took a bus from Kumasi to Cape Coast, which ended up being about a 4-hour bus ride. And Rocky had to leave. Rocky had to go to Cameroon for a conference. So Rocky left. So we were in Ghana with Matt and I, and we were with another guy who was a resident from the University of Chicago who we just met on the trip. His name was JJ. So it was me, Matt, and JJ going across the country with nobody we knew.
That is crazy.
That's
crazy. We were on the bus. We didn't know which stop was ours.
Oh my god!
Like we had, like Rocky arranged for one of his people to take us to the bus stop. He took us to the bus stop, and the guy that drove us to the bus stop went and talked to the bus driver and was like, "These guys need to get off at this place."
You had no idea when you were stopping?
We had no idea. So we're sitting there. I'm like, "Hey JJ, do you know when we're getting off?" He's like, "Nope, no idea." I'm like, "That's great because neither of us know either." So we're sitting on this bus like, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, 4 hours in, all of a sudden the guy goes,
"All right,
hey, this is you guys' stop." This is a packed bus. He like looks back at like Matt and I. It's your guys' stop.
Holy crap!
All right, we get off, and we have to call this number that Rocky gave us. It was one of his people in Cape Coast. She came, picked us up, took us to the
That's sketchy.
The hotel, checked us in, showed us around Cape Coast for about a second, and we were kind of hungry. We're like, yeah, you can just drop us off at this restaurant. We'll take a cab back.
Dang.
So she dropped us off at Oasis, which was a cool restaurant on the beach, at about 5 o'clock. We were expecting to get dinner, have a couple drinks, and head back. We ended up staying at Oasis until about 2 in the morning. It was a great time. So that's
on the beach and all that.
Oh yeah, dude,
That's
great
great.
place.
Like beach bar, like literally in the sand, or
Yeah, that's where I took a picture with the kids.
Oh
so,
my gosh!
So they have like an upper restaurant area, and then there's like a little like mini like wall that's like a foot or two tall, and then there's a few tables that are like right on the beach. So we sat on the tables right on the beach, and there was kids playing soccer out on the beach, like an after-school program. They were all like looking over at us, like giving us what's up like, while they were playing. And so like after they came up, and like it's hard because they all start begging you for money, and like at first you feel bad. You're like, oh, sorry dude, and then you kind of give in to one kid. And once you give in to one kid, they're like, oh, like what about me, like, and then so you're like, then you're gonna get in a rock and a hard place. You're like,
right.
Well, I'm not gonna give every one of these kids money. There's like 20 of them. So like I'm like, dude, I just gave your friend money. Like I'm not giving you money. And then once you're there for a while, you realize that the same kids keep coming around and pulling the same bullshit. They're trying to fucking scam you. So you feel bad, and the kids obviously like aren't well off.
Right.
But it comes to a point where if you don't explicitly tell them to get the hell out of there, they're gonna bug you the whole night. So it got to a point where like I had to start being an asshole. I'm like, hey dude, you're not getting any money from me. Get out of here. Go bug somebody else. Like whatever. That's
God, you're a dick, Jay. Jeez.
No, but Matt and I were playing with some kids on the beach. That's when we got that picture. That's when I got that
awesome.
picture.
So my question: does everybody speak English? Is there?
Yeah. So the native
tongue.
The native tongue.
the national language is English.
Okay.
But there's a lot of different tribal languages and stuff like that. So a majority of the country speaks Tree, Tri. It's very popular. I obviously don't speak it.
What's it sound like? Is it like dialects, or is it like?
It's like not even close to English.
Clicking? Like that?
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like a foreign
They're not
language.
birds.
No, but there's like you've heard of those dialect languages that like use clicking and popping.
It's it's like in a mountain. It's not a country.
Well, I don't know. No, I don't know, dude. I just was asking.
No, so like between like
I didn't know.
Walking around just clicks everywhere.
So a lot of them. So everybody like speaks English.
I can't believe you thought they
Fuck
clicked.
off! Like, I don't know. I've never been to Africa. Have you been to Africa?
No, dude. I just know they don't click.
I bet you there are tribal languages that do have dialect.
Maybe in a mountain, because I seen a movie about it back in 3rd grade.
Jay might have been near a mountain.
There's mountains in Africa, or there's mountains in Ghana.
Yeah, dude. There's mountains in Ghana.
Well,
gosh, you're making me feel like such an idiot for like. I kind of deserve it, but not like as much as you're giving it to me. Anyways, Jay, just continue.
No, so like everybody speaks English, but a lot of them speak broken English because they don't like in their day to day. They usually just speak tree, clicking and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But so it's tough sometimes. Sometimes I wish I was in a country with a foreign language because there's an expectation that I understand what they're saying.
Because you know English better than they do, pretty much.
It's not that they just speak it differently.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like they'll talk to me in English, but it's so broken. It's so different than what I'm used to that we don't understand what they're saying.
It's a thick accent, probably. Right?
Oh yeah. And they start to get upset with you that you don't understand them. Like why? Like why don't you understand what I'm saying?
It's annoying to them.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're saying. And then they start getting frustrated with you because you don't understand them. And so, like half the time, I'm like, geez, I just wish they were speaking Spanish. It'd be easier. There'd be no expectation for me to understand what they're saying.
That's true. It's like some pressure almost that you're always, you gotta be listening.
So, like, especially, like, cab drivers are really bad. Like, if you're working with somebody who's at a restaurant, they usually aren't more terrible, you know, because they speak English more.
Deal with a lot of tourists, probably, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one thing. But we spent a lot of time at Oasis on Friday.
If you were to replicate how they sound, how would
you
do that?
I'm not doing that.
Just to give them kind of like a verbal cue.
I can't even.
I just have clicking in my head.
I can't get the clicking out of my mind.
No, so we spent some time at Oasis.
Totally.
We met some Canadian nursing students that were cool.
That's what I was going to ask. How many did you run into people that were... Did you see a fair amount of tourists that were white, or was it just mostly everywhere you went?
So, like, in Kumasi, we're, like, the only white people there. Like, I didn't see, like, really many other white people there. There's a few other students staying at the hotel we were at, but that was about it. At Oasis, there was a shit ton of white people. There's white people everywhere at Oasis.
Everyone's there partying.
Yeah, no, it was like a restaurant and then like turned into a club at night. There's a DJ and stuff.
Ooh, what kind of music they play?
It's like American, like popular, like American music. JJ, who's a DJ on the side.
No way.
DJ'd on Saturday night.
JJ the DJ?
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's sweet.
That's so awesome.
He brought his laptop.
Chi-town.
But so we drank a fair amount on Friday night, and then went back to the hotel Friday night. And Saturday we went to, they have a slave castle in Cape Coast that was really cool. So it's an old slave castle that is right on the water, where they used to hold slaves before they'd put them on ships to send them to the United States or to Europe or whatever.
That is wild.
Yeah, because they would, they take slaves from Africa.
Yeah, from movies.
So, like, this was an actual... it's an actual slave castle.
That's wild.
So we got a tour. So they start off, the first place they take you is actually down into the male slave dungeon. They take you down to where they held all these slaves.
Dang.
Wild. There's no light. You're making me laugh over there. You're starting to giggle.
Just Josh, dude. Anyways.
They take you down and there's like no light, and they take you into this tiny room, and they're like, there was 200 slaves in this little room at one time.
That's messed up.
They're like, they'd be in their own fecal matter up to their like ankles.
Dude, that's how you got the freaking thyroid fever.
And so like it was like dark. There's like only like a couple little holes in there, like for like a little bit of sunlight. And there's like 5 chambers in there where like 200 slaves each would be like in each chamber. And then so they showed you that. They would take you through. Showed you like a bunch of different stuff. It was really cool.
Can't imagine.
Yeah, female slave dungeon. Tell you some tales about some old stories and stuff.
Wow.
Take you through the door of no return, where like once the slaves went out that door.
That was it.
Wait, there actually
there was no return.
Oh, that was actually a thing?
Oh yeah, the
Well,
door
yeah,
of no return.
Like-
They like march them out there, and once you go out that door, you're never coming
Wow.
back.
Oh my
You're
Did
going
you-
onto a ship.
I would almost feel like I
But-
want to leave.
But we returned. They like kept reiterating the door of no return, door of no return. He's like, but don't worry, we will return. Cool. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's a shitty life. I don't know how. They said they kept them down there for like 3 months at a time. Like, I don't know how any of those like slaves even had any like muscle mass to like even be sold to like work.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they survived.
For 3 months, yeah.
But yeah, so that was really cool.
Wild.
So from there, straight to Oasis.
Oh. Oh my.
Where we spent, we got there at 4 o'clock, and
Wow.
festivities began and didn't stop until about 2 in the morning.
Wow.
Now this sounds like a vacation.
Yep, the Cape Coast was a vacation and a half.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
Um,
And we didn't see any elephants there, did we?
oh, unfortunately not.
Was there a chance you potentially were going to see
Yeah.
elephants?
Didn't end up
Wow.
working out.
That's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
Yeah, but so this is where we'll get into a little more graphic part of the trip.
Alright.
So heavy drinking Friday, heavier drinking on Saturday. Sunday morning, rough morning. So I woke up at about 7:30 and was wearing my favorite Lululemon underwear.
Oh, it's great underwear.
And I trusted a fart that I shouldn't have trusted,
Oh.
and
It's a fist bump.
they had to be left behind.
Whoa, you left them. Yeah, huh?
You can't. After you do that, you can't.
There was nothing I could do.
You
about
might as well
it.
finish
Yeah.
it off.
There's nothing I could do. About it.
If you're tossing them, dude.
So I
Just
walked
put a
out.
nice
so
load
I-
in there
so
and
I
leave
walked-
'em.
So I walked
Leave 'em
out.
for
So
someone to buy.
I walked out on our balcony, and I.
Oh, I
left
thought
him
you
out
just
there.
threw it up.
Oh no! I just left him hanging on the balcony.
Wow.
Somebody else's problem now.
I thought you just
Wow.
balled them up. Baseball toss that into the
I
crowd.
was
and-
thinking about it to the barbed
That's
wire.
so
Oh
terrible.
my god.
No, so it gets better. So I shower in this hotel where once again they claim they have hot water. Or actually, I'm sorry. At least this place was honest. They didn't claim to have hot water.
Oh,
They said if you wanted hot water that you could call down and they could bring up a bucket of hot water for you.
okay.
That's pretty cool.
But I mean, I'm not a bitch. I'll take a cold shower. So went washed myself off, obviously. And for the rest of the day, the rest of the morning, I had some frequent bowel movements,
Wow.
and it turns out that our toilet wasn't flushing.
Oh no! You started going in the shower.
No, God.
Oh,
So
Filling the toilet up, right?
no. So once the toilet, the bathroom smelled like shit. I wasn't going in there
you
again.
filled that baby up to the brim.
You let me get to the best part of the story.
Sorry, dude. I'm excited.
So
Jeez.
the hotel was really the hotel was empty, and it was really weird how it's set up. They leave the keys in the doors for rooms that aren't being used.
Oh, so you were just going in each
So
room, dropping a
I
load.
bathroom hopped the entire floor, left a deuce in every single toilet. None of the toilets were flushing. I went from toilet to toilet in the whole
No,
floor.
you didn't.
No way.
I left a deuce in every toilet.
No, you
on
Wait,
the
how many
floor.
rooms are we talking?
I mean, maybe not every room, but
But-
I'd say I left a deuce in about 5 to 7 bathrooms.
Oh my gosh, that's impressive.
And left them there because the toilets weren't flushing.
For someone
Yes,
else
sir.
to deal with. That's badass.
Fully cleaned rooms. Somebody could have been brought up to stay in them later that day.
They probably haven't seen that much poop in their entire lives.
There's so many things wrong with that.
That's crazy.
What else am I gonna do? None of the toilets are working, bro.
I
Find
guess.
a bucket.
Do it off the balcony.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Or I would maybe just start doing it in the shower. I don't know.
Pull a Chabo.
Jesus.
But yeah, so that was.
Dang, man.
That's
I
crazy.
thought I'd share that. I
So
bathroom
that
house.
was that
Yeah,
was right before
yeah.
you came. That was right before you came home, or
No,
Wow, that's
that was
pretty-
on that was on Sunday.
Oh,
So Sunday.
That was pretty. it was like a
Sunday we
week
didn't do
or
anything.
two.
Sunday was a recoup day.
Yeah.
We didn't do shit on Sunday.
okay.
Monday we woke up and took a 3-hour taxi ride to Accra, which is the capital.
And really quick before you get into this,
Mhm.
on Sunday you were sitting there. I'm guessing it was just you and Matt in the room, and you were bathroom hopping. What'd you do all day? What did you have? You had TV probably
No,
on.
TV wasn't working.
Did you? You didn't really have Wi-Fi. I'm guessing.
So the hotel had some Wi-Fi
Okay.
that was decent, and then Rocky gave us a portable Wi-Fi.
Oh.
It's called a MiFi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had that, which was kind of slow when 2 people were on it,
I bet.
but it got the job done. So we watched a couple movies. I read my book,
Oh,
Okay.
what book you read?
Unbroken.
Oh, the movie.
Really good.
Really?
I read the first 300 pages in the first 5 days,
Wow.
and I don't read. I was super into it. I stopped reading once he got liberated from his camp. Not to give anything away, but
But I just did.
That's that movie. It's a movie too, right?
Have you
yeah,
seen
they
the
ended up
movie?
making it to a
Okay.
movie. It was on New York Times bestseller list for 3 years in
Wow.
a row.
Had you seen the movie before you started reading
No.
it?
But
That's good.
I knew the premise.
Yeah, I wouldn't have read it if I've seen the movie. I don't think. But
Yeah.
no, it's a great film. It's intense.
Great book.
And I'm sure it's a great book.
But yeah, so we did that. What are you looking at?
Just looking at Josh's notes.
Oh my! Oh.
I just want to see.
So Monday we took a long cab ride to Accra. Got to Accra. We stayed in a nicer hotel. We went to some sports bar. Got some American style food. Finally, hung
Yeah.
out.
Besides fried rice.
Yep, besides fried rice. Monday was pretty uneventful. Tuesday, we flew to Tamale, which is in the northern part of the country. So we flew to Tamale. There wasn't really much to do there. That's where we were going to go on a safari, but it didn't end up working out. It would have been a lot of work. They would have had to change a lot of things around for us to go.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't work out. So in Tamale, it's a large Muslim population, so they actually wouldn't let Matt and I stay in the same room. No same-sex
Oh.
people can stay in the same room.
Wow.
You're just giving off some gay vibes.
Yep. So I had my own room, which is fine. My TV wasn't working, my air conditioning wasn't working, and the shower didn't work. So I'm glad, and I was upgraded into their suite,
Wow.
and none of it worked. My fridge, TV, AC, and shower,
Oh my
none of it
God.
worked, which is dope.
Jeez.
So that was nice. So I had a rough night, and the power was going in and out the whole night. So, yeah.
Nice.
So that was sweet.
Yeah, that's
So
very
Tamale kind of sucked because we didn't really do anything. I would like to be able to do more there,
Uh-huh.
but it didn't work out. And then we flew back to Accra. Stayed the night in Accra at a nice hotel. Hit up KFC.
And then that's where you took a shower, right?
Took
That
a hot shower.
That was your
Nice.
first hot shower.
And then flew out on Friday night.
And then that's
Come
when you
on.
got back and you started to get really sick.
So I started to feel like shit. Or we flew out Thursday night. We flew out
Mhm.
Thursday.
You got back
late Thursday
Friday.
night. Yep. So I started feeling like shit Thursday night. Around 6 probably. We flew out around midnight. I had a pretty high fever. Felt like I was gonna vomit the whole flight to Paris. And the whole flight from Paris to Detroit. So the flight to Paris was about 6 hours. The flight from Paris to Detroit was about 8.
Jeez.
You were running a fever the entire time on that flight.
I was having cold sweats. I was struggling.
Oh,
And I was in the middle both times. I was scrunched in between people.
Jeez, Jonah.
That blows, dude.
Yeah, it was rough. But you know what? I made it home in one piece. I had a rough few days when I got home. I've been poked with a lot of needles the past week.
I bet.
Dang.
I bet.
I've had more IVs than I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
That's intense, man.
But yeah, that's basically it. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. We met some cool people from like different places, a lot of different places in Europe. We met some Dutch people, some Irish people, guy who lives in Kenya.
That's crazy.
Obviously some Ghanaian people.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool to be able to talk to
Sweet.
people from different places.
Yeah, and the one question I like that I asked you the other day, but you said you would go back if you could do it again, even though you got so sick. You got it was a pretty rough thing you just went through.
Oh yeah.
But you would do it again?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was
That's
really,
awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah, that definitely makes me want to do something like that.
Yeah, it was awesome. People are really nice. They pride themselves on being so nice or whatever. They love to. Whenever you talk to a Ghanaian person, they're like, "Oh, how do you like Ghana?" I'm like, "Oh, it's great." And they're like, "Are the people so nice?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're
That's
not like ridiculous."
I remember
nice.
Jamaica doing that. Like, we're the nicest,
They
coolest people.
They pride themselves on being like the nicest people in Africa.
That's funny.
That's so great.
But yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, dude, wow. I guess that kind of wraps most of it up.
Yeah.
Is there any other stories you wanted to touch before?
I'm trying to think.
I don't mean to put
Glad
you
you're back in one piece and you're good now, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's great. It
Was that?
feels like forever since you've been on here.
Yeah.
I know it does. It's been what, 3 weeks? I missed 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
We had a crazy 3
yeah,
weeks.
we did.
We did one with your dad. That was
That
so
was fun.
funny.
How long did I just talk for?
About almost 50 minutes, right? Something like that. Just shy of 50.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because my computer, for some reason, says 10.
Oh, dude, bullshit.
That's why I was so confused, because that felt like a long time.
It was.
Oh, here it
definitely
is.
10 minutes.
50 minutes, 40 seconds.
I was about to say, dude, if it was 10
Oh.
minutes, then we'd
I
have
was-
recorded the
I
whole
was
thing.
Kind
I
of.
was about to say, I don't know if I can talk like
I
that.
was kind of freaking out for a little bit. That
That
it
would've
only
been-
said 10 minutes. Yeah. Wow. Gosh, I guess maybe I'll save some of the stuff, because you just got knee deep, and I don't necessarily want to make this baby go too
Yeah.
long.
No, I'll save all my stuff too.
Should we save it?
Yeah, it's not really time concerning or anything. It's just some cool things. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm cool with that.
All
That
right,
was kind of
bros.
a cool.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That was a good.
It was
change of
great
pace.
catching up with you, Jay. I hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoyed. Just in case you were wondering, we are currently outside on my deck, just straight chilling. It's such a nice night. Finally, the weather is just doing us all a favor. I'm so happy about it. But yeah, give us a follow on SoundCloud, on iTunes, on
Instagram
now.
Twitter.
What are we? Bros Gone Wild podcast on Instagram. Follow us up, and yeah, watch out for the bros. We're out to get you. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Peace.
Cheers.
Cheers.